dear students. So today we are going to start the syllabus of fifth semester. So as you know that in the fifth semester there are two papers, chemistry paper 1 and chemistry paper 2. In chemistry paper 1, so it is 100 marks. In 100 marks there are 80 marks are theory examination and 20 marks are IA marks, internal assignment, internal assessment. Similarly, in paper 2 also, there are 80 marks theory paper and 20 marks internal assignment. As you already know it in the first to fourth semester, right? So in the fifth semester, only change is there are two chemistry papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Now for this year, fifth semester, so I am going to take in the paper 1 two chapters. Paper 1 two chapters. There is a chapter number 3, that is a heterocyclic compounds. Heterocyclic compound, that is chapter number 3, and chapter number 4 is a alkalides. Alkalides. So these are two very important chapters in the paper 1 organic section. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, so we'll start with the third unit of the first chapter, that is the first paper in the organic section. So that is a heterocyclic compounds. Heterocyclic compounds. So these heterocyclic compounds are very important class of organic compounds. So they are very important. And nowadays, a lot of research is going on in the heterocyclic compounds because these compounds are used in the synthesis of the drugs. So whatever the medicines, some of the medicines, most of the medicines, whatever we are getting in the market, that is in the pharmacy, so they contain the heterocyclic ring system. So they are very important, and nowadays there is one special branch in the chemistry, that is a heterocyclic chemistry. It's a very important branch. So a lot of research work is going on in this field, that is heterocyclic chemistry. So they are very important class of organic compounds, and these are occur widely in nature. So we get these compounds in the nature also, that is especially in the plants. That means the natural products, that means which are obtained in the nature, they contain the heterocyclic ring systems. And as you know that, as I already told you that the drugs, the synthetic drugs, most of the synthetic drugs, so they are containing this heterocyclic ring system. And as you know that in the next chapter what we are going to study is alkalides. So these alkalides are containing this heterocyclic ring system. So heterocyclic ring systems are present in alkalides. So alkalides are also used as a medicines. They are also used as a medicines. So we will study later in details regarding these alkalides. Right? Now what are heterocyclic compounds? So heterocyclic compounds are the cyclic compounds. They are the cyclic compounds containing at least one atom other than the carbon as a ring member. So what is the definition of heterocyclic compounds? So heterocyclic compounds are the cyclic compounds containing at least one atom other than the carbon as a ring member are called heterocyclic compounds. So as you already know that this is a structure of this benzene. Okay, so this is a benzene. So what this benzene contains in the ring system? So it is containing 6 carbon atoms here in the ring system. So it is a carbocyclic. It is, we call it as a carbocyclic. But here is a heterocyclic. Hetero means other than carbon. Other than carbon. So if you replace one of the carbon atom by the other atom, like a nitrogen here, we will take a nitrogen. Okay, so here it will become a heterocyclic compound. That means in the ring system, here one atom, there is a nitrogen atom, is other than the carbon. other than the carbon, so it is a heterocyclic compound. So once again I will repeat the definition. So heterocyclic compounds are cyclic. So this must be the cyclic in nature. It is cyclic in nature and it should contain one atom other than the carbon as a ring member. Other than the carbon as a ring member. So this is one of the example that is called as a pyridine. So they may also 5-membered ring systems also. So you can take this 5-membered heterocyclic ring. So it is nothing but a pyrrole. Is nothing but a pyrrole. So you can take other example of this heterocyclic compound that is called as an furan. So this is called as a furan. This is called as a pyrrole, and this is called as a pyridine. It's called as a pyridine. And one more example you can quote here, that is called as, if the sulfur is there, so we can call it as a thiophene. Okay, thiophene. So here we can observe that in the ring system, one atom is other than the carbon. So if all are carbon in the ring system, we call it carbocyclic. And if one atom or more than one atom, they are other than the carbon, then we are going to call them as a heterocyclic compounds. Is it clear? So heterocyclic compounds are the cyclic compounds containing at least one atom other than the carbon as a ring number. So these are the examples for these are heterocyclic compounds. Okay. Then we go for the next. So they may ask in the examination, what are heterocyclic compounds? What are heterocyclic compounds? So this is 2 marks. Give example. So you can give the definition and you can quote some examples for the heterocyclic compounds. Then coming to the classification. So they have been mainly classified into 3 classes. Heterocyclic compounds are classified into 3 classes. So the number 1 is a 5-membered heterocyclic compounds. 5-membered heterocyclic compounds. 5-membered heterocyclic compounds. Okay. So these heterocyclic compounds, they contain 5 members in the ring system. They contain 5 members. Okay, they are called as these 5-membered heterocyclic compounds. So examples I have written here only. Okay, so here these are 5-membered. So how to number these heterocycles? So you should start from the heteroatom number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So heteroatom should be given number 1. So numbering should be from heteroatom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 members. That means 1 nitrogen atom is there and there are 5 carbon atoms in the ring system. So it's a 5-membered heterocyclic compound. That means they contain 5 members in the ring system. So you can take this furan. Furan also here number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oxygen is the heteroatom and here the sulfur is a heteroatom. And especially in the heterocyclic compounds, usually there are 3 heteroatoms. Heteroatoms means other than the carbon. So there are nitrogen, oxygen and sulfur. These are the 3 heteroatoms usually present in the heterocyclic compounds. Okay, so this is the 5 examples for the 5-membered heterocyclic compounds which are containing the 5 members in the ring system. Then coming to the second type of the heterocyclic compounds, that is a 6-membered heterocyclic compounds. 6-membered heterocyclic compounds. So these contain 6 atoms in the ring system. So here they contain 5 atoms in the ring system. They contain 6 atoms in the ring system. So example, that means they contain 6 atoms. So we will give some examples for this. So as already I have given here, same thing. This is nothing but a pyridine. So it's a 6-membered heterocyclic compound containing nitrogen as a heterocyclic compound. So here's a 5-membered heterocyclic compound containing nitrogen as a heteroatom, but here is a 6-membered heterocyclic compound containing a nitrogen as a heteroatom. So you can number here from the heteroatom nitrogen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So 6 members are there in the ring system. So it is a 6-membered. So you can also give another example for this is a pyrene. So it is called as a pyrene. So this is called as a pyridine. Okay, pyridine. And one more example we can quote here, that is called as a Here is the nitrogen, no double bonds. Here there are 3 double bonds in the ring system, but here no double bonds. So this is called as a pi pyridine. It's called as a pi pyridine. The pi pyridine, which is also a 6-membered heterocyclic compound containing nitrogen as a heteroatom. The difference only between this pyridine and pi pyridine is, so there are no double bonds in the ring system. So this is a 6-membered heterocyclic compounds, right? They are containing 6 atoms. Then coming to the third is a fused heterocyclic compounds. Fused heterocyclic compounds. Third classification of heterocyclic compound is a fused heterocyclic compounds. So in the fused heterocyclic compounds, 2 or more rings are fused. So 2 or more rings are going to be fused here. So such heterocyclic compounds are called as a fused heterocyclic compounds. So we can take an example here. If suppose this benzene is fused with, see, this is our benzene, this is the benzene, this is a pyridine. Benzene and pyridine both are here fused. Okay, so this type of heterocyclic compounds are called as a fused heterocyclic compound. That means here 2 or more heterocyclic compounds, they are going to be fused here. So this is nothing but a benzopyridine. Benzene is fused with the pyridine, benzopyridine, or we can also call it as a quinoline. We can also call it as a quinoline. Okay. Now we can take another example where the benzene is going to be fused with the 5-membered heterocycle. That is nothing but what is this? This is nothing but a pyrrole. Nothing but a pyrrole. So it is a benzopyrrole, which is also called as a indole. Is called as a indole, as a benzopyrrole. Or you can give another example where we can fuse the furan with the benzene. So this is the furan. See, furan, 5-membered heterocycle containing the oxygen is a furan. So benzofuran, this is called as a benzofuran. So in this heterocycle, what has happened here? 2 or more heterocyclic ring systems, they are being here fused. So these are called as fused heterocyclic compounds. Okay. So as you know that there are 3 types of heterocyclic compounds. 5-membered heterocyclic compounds, they are containing 5 atoms in the ring system. 6-membered heterocyclic compounds, they are containing 6 atoms in the ring system. So these are the example: pyridine, pyrrole, and pyridine. And fused heterocyclic compounds, where the 2 or more heterocyclic compounds, they are going to be fused here to be fused heterocyclic ring systems. So this is a classification of heterocyclic compounds. So they may ask in the examination, give the classification of heterocyclic compounds with example for 2 marks. Okay. So what are heterocyclic compounds? This is for 2 marks. And another what is classification of give the classification of heterocyclic compounds with the examples. Okay. So this is about the introduction and also regarding the classification. After this, we will go for the very important part of this chapter. That is we are going to study the molecular orbital picture of the 4 heterocycles. 4 heterocycles. That is, one is called as a pyrrole, furan, thiophene, pyridine. That means 3 5-membered heterocyclic compound and 1 6-membered heterocyclic compound. So it's a very important in view of examination. So out of 4, definitely 1 is going to be asked. That is molecular orbital picture, MO picture, what we call molecular orbital picture, and aromaticity. aromaticity of pyrrole. First we study the pyrrole, that is molecular orbital picture and the aromaticity of pyrrole. So as you already know that pyrrole is a 5-membered heterocyclic ring system containing a nitrogen as a heteroatom. Now how this structure is formed here? How its structure is constructed? So it is based on the molecular orbital. Molecular orbital. So based on the molecular orbital, so we can see its picture. Okay, and we can see whether it is aromatic or not aromatic, non-aromatic. Okay. Now as when you see this one, so this pyrrole is containing 4 carbon atoms and 1 nitrogen atoms. Okay, 4 carbon atoms and 1 nitrogen atom. And these 4 carbon atoms and 1 nitrogen atom, they have undergone sp2 hybridization. sp2 hybridization. So you are already familiar with sp2 hybridization. Just once again I will repeat here how this sp2 hybridization is going to take place. So in sp2, 1 s orbital and 2 p orbitals, they are going to mix each other and they are going to give 3 new equivalent sp2 hybrid orbitals. Okay, so we'll see with respect to this pyrrole. So there are 4 carbon atoms which undergo sp2 hybridization, and that of a nitrogen also undergoes a sp2 hybridization. So we will see first with the carbon how it undergoes sp2 hybridization. So as you already know that carbon is having atomic number of 6. So here what is the electronic configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p2, 1s2, 2p2, 2p6. So if you write in these electrons in the boxes like this, there are 2 electrons in 1s, 2 electrons in 2s, and as you know that there are 3 suborbitals, 3 suborbitals in the p orbital, that is the px, py and pz. Okay, px, py and pz, and in the p orbital there are only 2 electrons in the carbon because atomic number is 6. Here 2 electrons, here 2 electrons, and in the p also there are 2 electrons. Now here the 2 electrons means 1 electron will go to the x orbital and 1 will go to the p orbital, x and y orbital. Okay, in p, x and y are containing a single electron. So this is the electronic configuration of the carbon in the ground state, and the carbon is in the ground state. So when you give some energy or while colliding each other, what happens here? The carbon is going to be excited. So excited state electronic configuration of carbon. Electronic state, that is a excited state electronic configuration of the carbon, in which what happens, one of the 2s electron, it jumps to p orbital. 2s electron is going to jump to the p orbital by giving some energy. So energy when you supply is going to be jump to the p orbital, the higher orbital. So what happens in this excited state electronic configuration? See here, 1 electron is going to be jumped here. So only 1 electron will be left here, and in this p, what has happened? So here 1 electron, here 1 electron, and here this electron jumps from the 2s, so it occupies this. So there are 4 here unpaired electrons in the carbon in the outermost shell. In the outermost shell there are 4 electrons, so carbon can form 4 bonds. Carbon can capable of forming 4 bonds. So because of this carbon is a tetravalent. So always carbon is a tetravalent. It will form 4 bonds. Always carbon, you already know in organic chemistry. So it is going to form 4 bonds. Now in sp2 hybridization, what happens now? So this is the excited state electronic configuration of our carbon. Now in the excited state, what happens? 1s and 2 p orbitals, they are going to take. That means this is 1 s orbital and these 2 orbitals. That means this is s orbital and these 2 p orbital. That is x and y will take, because these are the 2 orbitals. So the mixing of 1 s orbital and 2 p orbitals. So what is going to do here? Is going to give 3 new sp2 hybrid orbitals of equivalent energy like this. So these are this is sp2, okay, this is sp2, okay, with a single electron. So there will be a single electron. We are containing single electron and 3 orbitals is going to give. So these are 3 new sp2 hybrid orbitals of this one carbon. And what is left here? One unhybridized pz orbital. So this pz orbital has not taken part in the hybridization. Has not taken part in the hybridization. So it remains perpendicular to the plane. Remains perpendicular to the plane with a single electron. Single electron. So this is what this hybridization, hybrid orbitals in the carbon, sp2 hybrid orbitals in the carbon is going to take place like this. Okay. Then similarly, we see with respect to the nitrogen. sp2 hybridization nitrogen we see, because then nitrogen is the one heteroatom which is present in this pyrrole. So here nitrogen, as you know that there are 7 electrons. There are 7 electrons, that means atomic numbers, 7 atomic numbers. So here what is the electron configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p. How many are left? Here 3 electrons. 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. 2p3. Here it is 2p2. Here is a 2p3 because there are 7 electrons. Here 6 electrons. There are 7 electrons. So similarly, when you write in the boxes, what happens here? So there are 2 electrons in 1s, 2 electrons in the 2s, and here there are 3 electrons. That means 1 in each. That means 1 electron in the x, 1 in y, another one is in the z. Okay, so this is the electronic configuration of this nitrogen. So here also when the nitrogen undergoes an excited state, then excited state electronic configuration of this nitrogen, what happens here? Here also one of the s orbital is going to jump to this p orbital. So one thing you remember that x, y, z, they have same energy. They have same energy. So this electron may go to the x, or it may go to the y, or it may go to the z. No problem. They have equal energy. Equal energy. So you can jump to any orbital here. So for our convenience, we can show that it jumps to the one of the electron, 2s electron, it jumps to the p orbital like this. So one electron is already here, one electron is there. So here it jumps, we can show in pz. So one electron jumps. So here this is a excited state electronic configuration of the nitrogen. So here there are 3 only here unpaired electrons, 3 unpaired electrons. So nitrogen can form only 3 bonds. NH3 can be example, NH3. So there are only 3 hydrogens are there. That it can capable of forming 3 bonds here. So this is a trivalent. It is nitrogen is a trivalent. So in this case, what happens here in the sp2 hybridization? Nitrogen also exhibit sp2 hybridization. So here usually this one s orbital in these 2 orbitals, one s orbital in 2 p orbital, they are going to mix. Similarly, like in the carbon, in here also they are going to give the how this. So sp2 and sp2. So with the single electron. So all are sp2. This is sp2, this is sp2, this is sp2. That means these 3 orbitals, one s orbital in these 2p orbitals, they are going to mix each other, and they are going to get a 3 new sp2 hybrid orbitals of equivalent energy we are going to get. Now here also one pz orbital which is unhybridized. It has not taken part in hybridization. Here also it has not taken part in hybridization. But difference is here is it is having only one single electron, whereas here it is having the pairs of an electron. So that is what difference. So there are 2 electrons here in the this pz. In the pz. Here also it is p orbital, p or pz orbital you can call. So like this. These are the hybrid orbitals in the case of carbon, and these are the sp2 hybrid orbitals in case of nitrogen. Now we can construct this molecule, that is this pyrrole. So how it should be constructed? So we'll see here. Now, as there are 4 carbon atoms, each carbon has these 3 sp2 hybrid orbital and 1 unhybridized p-z orbital. So we can see this is the carbon. Okay, so carbon has how many? 1 sp2 here, 1 sp2 here, another sp2 is here. Okay, these are 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals of a one carbon. This carbon will take. Okay, next we'll take next adjacent carbon. This carbon. Okay, this carbon is also having 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals. So this is having this hybrid orbital. This is another. This is third. That means they are also having single electrons. Okay, single electrons in the sp2 hybrid orbitals. Now what happens here? sp2 hybrid orbital, this carbon, it overlaps here with the sp2 orbital of the adjacent carbon. So it is going to form which bond? This is a sigma bond. So that is called as a sp2 sigma bond is going to be formed here. Okay. Now similarly, this carbon. Okay, we will take next carbon here, and here this carbon is going to also overlap with the adjacent here. Okay, with a single electron. This carbon sp2 hybrid orbital and this carbon sp2 hybrid orbital. So there is overlapping. This head-on overlapping is going to give a covalent bond. Here also it is a sp2 sigma bond is going to be formed. Now this carbon, that is another here sp2 and it is a sp2. So they are also having single electrons here. sp2 of this carbon, sp2 of this carbon. So overlapping here. So you are going to also get a sigma bond. Okay, now coming to the nitrogen. So nitrogen is also having 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals. Okay, nitrogen will write here. So one is having a sp2, second sp2. This is a third sp2. Okay, this is a third sp2 with a single electron. So here also single electron. Now here that sp2 of this carbon overlaps with the sp2 of this nitrogen. Carbon, nitrogen, sp2 orbital, they are going to overlap each other, head-on overlapping. Here also you get sigma bond. Here also there is overlapping. Here also you are going to get a sigma bond. And here one hydrogen is there. Hydrogen is there. Hydrogen, only one electron which is present in a s orbital. So s orbital is a spherical shape, one electron. So it is going to form also it is called sp2 sigma bond. So here is a hydrogen. So this is the sigma bond, right? And here all the 4 hydrogens have linked to the hydrogen atom. Here also they have links to the hydrogen. So s orbital of the hydrogen. So here also this sp2 sigma bond. So hydrogen is going to form here. Here also hydrogen sp2. Here sp2. It's a hydrogen. Here is a hydrogen sp2 sigma bond. Like this, these are the sigma bonds. Okay. See how many sigma bonds we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? 5 sigma bonds. They are sp2, and here 5 are sp2. These are 5 are sp2 and 4 are sp2 sigma bonds. So like this is constructed. Okay, this what we will get. So this is a molecular orbital picture. Further, what happens here? Each carbon is having one unhybridized p orbital, and nitrogen also having one unhybridized p orbital. So we see here next picture. So what we'll do for our reference, we will write this is a carbon now links to another adjacent carbon with a which bond this is sp2 sigma bond. Similarly, we just align this is linked with this with a sigma bond. Here also is a sigma bond. Nitrogen is links to this carbon by the sigma bond. Here also there is a sigma bond, and they are links to the hydrogens by the sp2 sigma bonds. So like this we can show this picture. Okay, this is what this can write for a convenient like this. So actually this is a molecular picture. Then further what happens, as you already know that carbon is having one p orbital which is perpendicular to the plane. So this is a planar structure. Actually this is a planar structure, and this p-z orbital, the p orbital which is perpendicular is a 90 angle like this. So this is the planar This is like this, this is like this. That means 90 angle is parallel to the plane of this. So each carbon is having a what? A p orbital with a single electron. Whereas this nitrogen, we see nitrogen also having pz orbital or p orbital with the pairs of electrons. There are two electrons here, so there are two electrons here. Okay, two electrons here. Okay, this is the p orbital which is unhybridized in the nitrogen. You follow this? So here four carbon atoms which have a pz orbital, which have not undergone hybridization, not taken part in hybridization with a single electron, and this has a two electrons. Now what happens here? These p orbitals, so they are going to overlap the sidewise overlapping like this. Sidewise overlapping of the p orbital or the lateral overlapping of the p orbital, so we are going to get a pi bond. So there will here is a pi bond. So this overlaps with this. Okay, we are going to get pi bond. Now what happens here? The distance between all the carbon atom and the nitrogen is same. Distance is same. That means this p orbital, instead of overlapping this side, it may overlap this side also, because distance is same. This is also p orbital, this is also p orbital. It may overlap this side or it may overlap this side. So you may get this pi bond here also. You may get pi bond here, or you may get pi bond here, or this may overlap this side. Instead of overlapping this side, this may also overlap this side. Okay, and this p orbital, instead of overlapping this side, it may overlap this side also. So it may overlap like this. Okay, that means this pi molecular orbital you are going to get. This is called as a pi molecular orbital with how many electrons? How many electrons? There are 6 electrons. So carbon here 1 electron, here 1, here 1, here 1, 4. But here nitrogen is having 2 electrons. So it is a 6 pi molecular orbital you are going to get. 6 pi molecular orbital you are going to get. So this is what the actual molecular orbital picture. So for our convenience, so we will write like this. Okay, so carbon. So not necessarily show carbon at any corner here. Just you can write like this. Okay, nitrogen only you can show like this. Heteroatom. Here is a nitrogen. Here is a hydrogen, 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 and hydrogen like this. And here we overlap this p orbital with this p orbital. This p orbital is going to overlap sidewise overlapping. So we are going to get double bond here. So this p orbital is going to overlap with this side. So we are going to get the double bond. Okay. So this is what the structure we are going to get. And on nitrogen there are 2 electrons like this. There are 2 electrons on nitrogen and lone pair of electron. So this is what we get the structure like this. So like this structure is constructed based on its molecular orbital picture. Molecular orbital picture we will get, right? So this is what the molecular orbital picture of this pyrrole. Now coming to the aromaticity. Now this is pyrrole is structurally similar to the benzene. Structurally similar to the benzene. So this there are 4 points which you are going to write here. So this pyrrole also satisfies this Huckel's rule. It satisfies the Huckel's rule. What is Huckel's rule? It is a 4n plus pi electrons. 4n plus 1 pi electrons. 4n plus 2 pi electrons. Sorry, 4n plus 2 pi electrons. So this is the Huckel's rule. So the compound which obeys this Huckel rule, they are aromatic. Okay. So that is 4n plus 2 pi rule. What is this n? N is the number of rings. How many rings is there? Only one ring system is there. So that means here n can write here 1. So 4 into 1 plus 2 pi. That means 4 into 1 is 4. Here is a 2. So 4 plus 2 is nothing but 6 pi. So it obeys the Huckel. So that means if there are 6 pi electrons, definitely it is aromatic. So it is similar to the benzene. This structure is similar to benzene. So this is one point. It obeys the Huckel's rule. Second is, as already told, so it is having 6 pi electrons in the molecular orbital. There are 6 electrons in the pi molecular orbital. So it is an aromatic. Then next third one is it is undergoing electrophilic substitution reactions. So second is what? Third is electrophilic substitution reactions. So electrophilic benzene also undergoes electrophilic substitution reactions like nitration, halogenation, sulfonation, Friedel-Crafts reaction. Similarly, it also undergoes a electrophilic substitution reactions. So as it satisfies all these aromatic city rules, conditions of aromaticity, so it is aromatic in nature. So this is what this, if you write this much, you will get 5 marks. So discuss the molecular orbital picture and aromaticity of pyrrole. So this is for 5 marks. This much if you write, definitely you will get 5 marks. So this is about the molecular orbital picture and the aromaticity. So we'll stop here. We'll continue in the next period. Thank you.